Alright guys, welcome back to another New World video with your boy the Cash Critic. Thank you so much again for tuning in, of course. And actually I wanted to go ahead and discuss UFC 281 fights. Obviously the fights happened last night. Absolutely stacked card, absolutely bonkers, right? Which is absolutely, I can't say absolutely enough. It was absolutely insane. So I was really trying my hardest to stay up during these fights. I even told some of my buddies that were gonna come over. Like, unfortunately, I don't even think it's a good idea for you to come over, just because I'm gonna be so freaking tired. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna discuss the fights, my reactions, my thoughts on what happened. I'm pretty sure from my previous video, which you can check on my channel as well, before is my pre-fight predictions and my picks that I would ultimately pick. But so be sure to check that out. But I'm gonna talk about the results and how it all went down. So I think I got 3 out of my 3 picks right. 2 of them were incorrect, which is totally fine. Also, decided to switch it up for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Return to Eternum, the Twitch event that's going on all the way through November 19th. So just keep that in mind as well. I got the Lone Gladiator outfit equipped for you guys, just to switch it up with my brand new skin on my greatsword. Finally, I've been waiting for this teardrop to go down in Twitch, and got it this morning, so I'm pretty pumped about it. So I decided to switch it up. That way you guys can take a look and see what it's all about too. First things first as well, before I get into the actual results, I do want to let you guys know as well that I am currently grinding for my first house in New World. It's actually 10,000 coin in the game itself. I just turned to a level 50, as you can see below, so I'm pretty amped about that. And I haven't touched really any main story quests as of recently, probably in the last week. Only side quests, literally just trying to get up my coin to 10k. Obviously I've been spending some too, but and now I have to worry about new armor because I'm level 50 that I can actually purchase at this point. So let's go ahead, let's get into the grind to get this coin up, and then let's talk about the results itself too. So I'm gonna go ahead and just teleport quickly over to this settlement in Weaver's Fen City, and then we'll just automatically get into it and start discussing what happened. Specifically the main card. I'm not going to necessarily go over the prelims, with the exception of one fight, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can guess which fight I'm going to be discussing, and that is Molly McCann versus Erin Blanchfield. Now, the reason why I did want to go over this fight specifically is because there's a lot of hype behind Molly, and kind of, I don't want to say not rightfully so, kind of rightfully so in a way, but I knew Molly McCann was not going to you just know Molly McCann was not going to win this. I understand she was coming off of 2 wins, right? She had an amazing finishes between both of her last 2 fights. Literally TKOs, right? Spinning back fist, and then the other one overhand right, and absolutely just murking Hannah Goldie, which I don't even think is in the UFC anymore at that point. So that was kind of the end of her after losing that. Oh my god, how do I get over there, people? What's going on? So that's kind of, so let's talk about that, because there was so much hype between my friends, between the betting odds, right? So that was a big one as well, even though Erin Blanchfield was actually the favorite. But there were still people, right? For example, Dave Portnoy bet $10,000 on Molly McCann, which I know they're close. I had a bunch of my friends put in parlays, and they had Molly McCann. I told them all, I was like, hey, y'all must have forgot, like Israel Adesanya says. Y'all must have forgot, because Erin Blanchfield is no joke. She's a serious contender. And I truly do see her. Let's see, we got some coloring dice. I like that. Die pouch. Ooh, nice, okay. Serious contender, and I see her fighting for the belt after maybe 2 or 3 more wins within the division. So I'm excited to see how she does for the upcoming year, to say the least. But yeah, so Molly McCann, right? It was just total domination. Molly McCann has a ton of hype around her, with her and Patty Pimblett as well. Constantly being together. Now they train with each other every now and then as well. And really just getting that hype, that recognition with celebrities and all that kind of stuff. And it's crazy because it kind of just happened out of nowhere for Molly McCann. I think realistically, it really did just happen because of the hype train behind Patty Pimblett, which also I'm saying it here right now to everyone. So if this ever doesn't happen, feel free to refer back to this video and talk all the crap that you want. Patty Pimblett will not be a top 5 um, contender in the division. I'm saying it now. He is not that great of a fighter. He has 0 head movement. And I can see him gassing as well. But that's besides the fact. But yeah, so a lot of hype behind Molly, and that's what happens. The hype trains, people are really, really stuck and glued onto hype trains, and ultimately they can't get past the fact that this is actually fighting as well. So, collect Mad Alchemist scribbles from chest at Brightwood. So, ultimately, Erin Blanchfield, first round, took her down, double leg. Total domination, realistically. And then literally in round 1, gets her in a crucifix, absolutely destroying her with the elbows, the punches, and then ends up submitting her with the Kimura. Really, really just an easy fight all around. I'm not trying to take away anything from Molly McCann, but it's just facts, that's really all it is. It's just facts. But yeah, so there's that. I don't bet, like I said. I didn't even put this in my previous video on who you guys should actually pick either way. But I really wanted to point it out because I thought it was very funny that a lot of people put money on her. And I think because Erin Blanchfield, and this is a great representation of, your name and being well known and all that kind of stuff, how it plays into a factor. I think a lot of people didn't know who Erin Blanchfield was, which is the reason why ultimately they bet with Molly and had her as the winner. Well, thinking she was going to be the winner, right? So just something to think about. So to the main card. UFC 281. Wow. What a time. All right. So first things first, right? Dan Hooker defeats Claudio Puelles, and I don't know what in God's name Claudio was doing, because that man was literally just doing a sit, the regular jiu-jitsu sit, trying to go ahead and get a knee bar, trying to get an ankle lock, and obviously not setting it up whatsoever. In the middle of the octagon, just going right up against the floor, sitting down and trying to grab legs. Obviously, Dan Hooker got up every single time, which is good, which he should have been doing. And then ultimately ended up just going ahead and getting the body, getting the finish by utilizing the teep kicks to the body, which was awesome, which was good. Good for him for actually doing that. So, yeah. So, Dan Hooker gets it done in round 2. Honestly, that fight to open up the main card, and this card, I think they set the record for the most finishes in a UFC card anyways. I think that fight, the first round was very lackluster, and it was kind of just odd all around. So I'm glad that Dan Hooker at least... I actually had Claudio about a win because he's been on a streak, but, after what I was seeing, what he was doing just like a minute into the fight, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to go too well. So awesome job for Dan Hooker. He really needed a win regardless, right? He's been on a losing streak, so he really did need a win here, and I think this kind of rejuvenates his stock as a fighter within the UFC too. So obviously the next fight, this is one that I did state that was ultimately, it was bound to happen, unfortunately. Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. It's unfortunate, man. Obviously Frankie is the people's champ. He has a ton of respect from Dana White, from Lorenzo, like the Fertitta brothers, right? He's been around forever, being the lightweight champ, dropping down to bantamweight as well too, even featherweight. So it's just like, it's just a lot, man, and it sucks to see him go out this way because he ultimately got knocked out in round 1 from a freaking colossal knee. But yeah, I mean, I guess it just it was gonna happen. I expected something like that to happen, right? His chin isn't there. He can't really take a hit anymore. His cardio is absolutely phenomenal still. So his cardio is still, of course, there. And it was pretty amazing to see him keep up with the contenders too, cardio wise, I guess you could say. But yeah, just seeing that though, I'm glad that Frankie Edgar is hanging it up because that's not something that he wants to put himself through each and every single time either. So yeah, so Chris Gutierrez gets the W, and this puts him into a very good spot too, regarding the division. So I was excited and happy for him. And then on to the next one, the barn burner. The barn burner. Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler, right? So this is a huge one. The fight went exactly as everyone expected. Literally, everyone expected. Everyone expected this. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a little lost here. I'm not too sure where I'm supposed to go. Like, what the... Oh, so I got to keep going this way. So, barn burner of a fight. Expected it exactly how everyone did. Michael Chandler literally told us he's literally going to be in a war. Dustin Poirier said he's going to be in a war. So, everything that they said lived up to the hype. And, unfortunately, Michael Chandler tried too much, as he usually does almost in every fight. He almost got the W, I'm not going to lie, right? He almost ended up finished Dustin Poirier a few times, actually. But, this guy, he just puts his all into every single punch he throws, every single kick he throws. Throwing a lot more body kicks than I've ever even seen him throw before, right? He threw like 3-4 in a row, straight to the body, and then continued to do so later on in the fight as well, which was very odd. But, yeah, it's very, very interesting the approach that he took. And then he almost gets finished in the end of the first round. And realistically, I think if Dustin had like maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds left, that fight would have been over right there. He would have dropped to the floor, and then the referee would have stepped in and ended the fight there. Obviously, Dustin with his boxing, his superior boxing, and his composure, and then also just being strategic with everything, gives him the edge against many others that others don't possess. For example, like Michael Chandler, being such a brolic person, that Dustin Poirier ultimately is going to be able to capitalize that and find the mistakes and see the openings where Michael Chandler throws his all and misses, and really just go ahead and take the fight from there. So kind of crazy, right? Michael Chandler had his back multiple times. He even did kind of like a cheap move, gauging his mouth open to try to sink in and lift his chin up to sink in a rear naked choke, which I'm glad didn't happen. And you can see Dustin Poirier actually telling the ref that, hey, like, this guy's putting his fingers into my freaking mouth to open my chin up for a submission. Like, do you not see this, right? So I was happy that didn't actually go down like that. I'm getting absolutely marked here, guys. I'm happy that it didn't go down like that, right? Yeah, either way, it was funny because Michael Chandler ends up getting submitted round number 3. And to be honest, I think actually if it went past the 3rd round, Michael Chandler would have edged it off with a split decision kind of win. But Dustin Poirier ends up defeating Michael Chandler in round 3. Rear naked choke. You would have thought that he would have learned that from that, especially coming off of the loss to Charles Oliveira. Clearly, Dustin did his homework in that situation. Not so much Chandler himself. And then destroy Arc Minister Havelock. Alright, let's see if I can find this guy. Is he in here? Okay, cool. So yeah, Dustin Poirier gets it done. I think this is really good for him, right? He needed a win. He's been away for I think 11 months, maybe a little bit more. He really needed that win. He really needed to showcase the fact that he's still a contender. He's still there to fight for an actual belt as well, come down the line, if it came down to do so. And also, it just shows the grit and the competitiveness that Michael Chandler has as well on his end. But he's 2-3. I'm not exactly sure as to where this is going to put him in the rankings. I'm not actually sure what this is going to do for him come his career with the UFC as well, right? So, he's 36 years old. I don't personally think he is going to go ahead and, I don't think he's actually going to go ahead and, re-sign because he is getting older with age. I don't know how many fights are left on his contract, to say the least, but we'll see what time will tell. But either way, it was a great fight overall. And then Oh, so this is like a boss fight. So I might get... So Dustin Poirier, right, took the W. Good job. Awesome one for him. Now, the co-main event, which I expected nothing less, right? Zhang Weili defeats Carla Esparza by round 2, right? Rear naked choke. After getting her in like a reverse kind of crucifix situation. So I was super excited that Zhang Weili regained her belt. Definitely much needed. You know, Carla Esparza, you could tell like it was almost like she wasn't supposed to be in there with Zhang Weili. Like the striking was so far off. There was no setups to any of the punches. I really thought the only way that Carla had a chance was by really neutralizing Zhang Weili's stand-up by wrestling her. But obviously, like I said in my previous video, excuse me, Zhang Weili has been training with Henry Cejudo a lot with her wrestling, so I expected nothing less to see great takedown defense, even though she did get taken down one time. But still, good stuff there. So, you know, round 2, rear naked choke. Very weird stance. Kind of had her arm trapped as well during this kind of process. So it was a very weird one, but, you know, very well deserved. I'm very happy for Zhang Weili to bring it back to China. Additionally, the main event, which everyone literally has been talking about, right? We would have thought we'd never see the day. Now, this was a tough one. And I say tough one because I did want Alex Pereira to win, but I just didn't know if he'd be able to. Now, this showed a lot out of Alex Pereira's end, more than it did for Israel Adesanya. And let me see let's see how hard this person is to kill. Oh, he's looking tough. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this, guys. Hold on. Yeah, he's looking like I need a teammate to help me out here. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not too sure, guys. Let's see. Yeah, help me out, bro. Help me out. Let's drink this. Okay. Okay, help me out. Yup. Okay, sorry guys, I have to focus on this one. This is a tough one here. Oof. Okay, yeah. This ain't gonna end too good for me. Alright, let's do this. Don't let him heal up. Yup, there it is. Okay. Yep. He's getting sleepy. Let's see if we got this. You know, so far so good. It's just taking a lot more time than I thought. Alright, we gotta get out of that circle. Okay, let's get back in there. Let's do this. Where's he at? Let's go back inside. Nope. Okay. There it is. Yep. Here we go. Alright, we're doing good. As long as I had this one other person. If I didn't, I don't know if I'd be able to capitalize on this moment, to be honest. Okay, excellent. So I think this is good. You guys get to finally see like somewhat like a boss battle, I guess you could say. Because I think a lot of you even have been saying like the game doesn't really necessarily look all that hard. Oh shit. Oop, sorry guys. Excuse my French on that one, guys. Apologize. Alright, here we go. We even got a third now. We like this. I don't want to sleep. Yep, going to bed. Here we go. We like that. Wow, perfect timing. Woo! What a time, huh? What a time, guys. Let's give him the thumbs up. Let's cheer it. Appreciate you guys jumping in and helping out. I guess we're at the right place at the right time, right? So that's awesome. All right. So yeah, so back to Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Yeah, so I think this really tested the ability of Alex Pereira more than anything, to be honest, right? If you think about it, you know, this really showed that he's able of going 5 rounds. It shows that he does actually need to indeed work on his wrestling as well. That's for sure. And it showed that he does actually need to maybe be a little bit more conservative. But he moves around great, right? All the years of kickboxing really does pay dividends to his end. And then also, on top of that, it shows that he's, even though he was conservative, right? He still got gassed. But I think if you watch even round 4, he did pretty much take off that round just to really come back in round 5 and really kind of unleash, which he ultimately did do. Israel Adesanya, and it sucks, right? Because if you think about it, right, he's 0-3 against Alex Pereira. Literally, all 3 fights went exactly the same way as the previous ones. The first fight, if you watch it, Israel Adesanya absolutely was piecing up Alex Pereira, you know, really owning him in the stand-up game, which is Alex Pereira's specialty, right? And in that fight, actually, for some reason, the judges ended up giving it to Alex Pereira. And you can see that Alex Pereira was even shocked that he won himself that fight. The rematch came in kickboxing yet again. And then ultimately, Alex Pereira ends up winning and beating him in round 3 with a left hook knockout as well. So that ended up happening. Now, this fight, right, obviously completely separate from kickboxing. This is MMA as a whole. So this is why I really did think Israel was going to ultimately pull it off and really utilize all the skills such as grappling, which he did. But then you saw Alex Pereira take him down as well. So it was a barn burner of a fight. It was shocking. It was crazy. When the 5th round did come, I kind of was like, okay, like Izzy kind of has this. As long as he just, you know, keeps his momentum, stays away, picks him apart, he's going to be in a good place. And ultimately, he ended up getting it done. Alex Pereira goes in, absolutely hits him with a nice uppercut, clips him with that left hook, and then from there it was downhill. And people say an early stoppage. Come on, you can't say that's an early stoppage. I understand he's the champion, but he's not even looking. He's literally looking at the ground. Hands are down low, bobbing and weaving. His legs are locked up. Even when the fight gets stopped, ultimately what ends up happening is that he's wobbling and the ref is kind of holding him up too. But he took it like a champ. He did say he will be back, so I'm excited for that. So, that being said, guys, you know, thank you so much for tuning in, obviously, to another New World video, to my post thoughts regarding UFC 281 as well. Very much looking forward to the next UFC event as well with Glover Teixeira and Yuri as well for the light heavyweight belt. So that's going to be a good one. But yeah, appreciate every single one of you. Again, as always, tune in to the Cash Critic. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment down below as well. Hit that like. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm too. And it's been real. It's been a pleasure. Stay blessed. Peace.